That big, handsome hunk of man, Wardlow, was on the Rasslin podcast with Brandon Walker this week. Wardlow on the show to promote the upcoming Full Gear pay-per-view, which by the time you hear this, probably already happened. But as I record this on a Saturday afternoon, the show is later tonight, and I don't know who won. But Wardlow going in the TNT champion, and he was on this show to promote the show. They got into all kinds of fun things on this show. This was actually a really cool episode of Rasslin. Wardlow's getting better at doing the interviews. He's still a little bit uptight. He's having trouble coming out of his shell a little bit. But he's getting better. A lot of earlier, I remember very early on this show, I reviewed an interview that Wardlow did, and it was just awful. He was very stiff and awkward and cold and wasn't really sure how to handle interviews. And he's getting much better at that. He's still coming out of his shell. But Brandon Walker did a good job of helping. Brandon was fucking with him the whole time. If you're familiar with the Rasslin podcast, Brandon Walker will just... He runs his show like a train wreck, even though it's not, and he's a professional and all, but his show, it's just like the style of the show is it's just a complete awkward mess. And he was fucking with Wardlow pretty good on this show. But I think it was just to kind of get him to come out of his shell a little bit. And I think he did. And it was in this particular clip here, we got some insight into what Wardlow sees for himself in the future, as Brandon Walker asked Wardlow who his dream opponent would be. And this was his answer. Check it out.
Who is your dream opponent in wrestling? If I could just pick an opponent out of a hat and put him in the ring across from you, what are your dreams at night tell you?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Brock Lesnar's
the real deal.
He's a beast.
Yes. I feel like
you think you could wrestle him?
The ultimate.
Think you could beat him?
Absolutely. I think that's the ultimate testament. I think in the game of professional wrestling, it's Lesnar and Wardlow.
I'm gonna text Brock right now and tell him that you're challenging him.
Let him know. Give him my number.
See how that works. Well, I don't have his number. It would be awesome if I did, though. It would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Nickelback's going to be here in a minute.
What?
First of all, just a note on Brandon Walker for the Rasslin podcast here, the fellow who interviewed Wardlow. This is a part of Bar Stool Sports. That's what the Rasslin podcast is on. And Brandon has expressed in the last couple podcasts that Barstool has not been bringing him in as much, that they're only kind of flipping him the budget to do shows here and there instead of his weekly show, which he had originally been running. Maybe the numbers are down. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. But what I do know is I love me some Brandon Walker. I think he's a fantastic interviewer. If you go and you read the comments in any video that he does, you'll see that he has a very solid, supportive fan base that loves his interviews as well. And he's always super fun. His interviews are just awkward and outside the box and silly and funny. And he just gets a different interview out of guys. They're more relaxed. They're laughing. He's always cracking jokes at the expense of himself or fucking with the talent a little bit. And it just makes for a fun interview. And I hope that he gets the chance to do more. If not, I hope he finds his way out of whatever deal he's got with Bar Stool Sports and that he can go out and just kind of do his own thing, because I think he has not only the connections and the talent and the fan base to do it all on his own. But I would certainly be there to support him. As for Wardlow, so please absolutely go watch. He did a couple interviews. He announced that he had one with Jade Cargill. I don't know. I haven't checked as of today if it came out yet or not. I assume it's going to come out before Full Gear. So it probably has hit today, but I didn't get a chance to, watch it in time to do this show. But he did one with Tony Khan, which was also great. Anytime he has Tony on, anytime he has MJF on too. They're just great interviews, Wardlow was a classy guy. Wardlow, I expect to see big things out of. Like I said, he's still kind of coming out of his shell, doing these media things, but I see him getting better. And really, like, honestly, whether they're progressing slowly or they're progressing fast, if you can noticeably see that they're progressing, you continue to invest in them, right? Wardlow's a big, beefy monster of a man, sexy as all hell, right? Like, just, I mean, come on, look at the guy. $1 million. He's like Batista 2.0. He's younger, more athletic. He's smart, very well spoken. He's got to loosen up a little bit, get a more experience in the ring. And I see this guy being a fucking megastar. There's nothing about Wardlow that makes me look at him and go, mid-carder. He's not Kona Crush. He's not Adam Bomb. He's not Brian Cage. He's not just some big random beefy guy that's just going to get lost in the mix somewhere. Wardlow is probably destined to, goddamn, I would not be surprised to see him have a WrestleMania main event in the future someday. And that's just me. Some of y'all might be like balking at that, but I don't know. I've been around the business long enough. I not only recognize talent, but I recognize what types of talent and in what ways that companies like WWE, for example, look for. What do they look for in these kind of talents that they bring in, and what do they do with them when they have them if they're worth half a shit? Wardlow's worth half a shit. He's a fucking beast. He's a machine. He's a nice guy. He's cool as all fuck. Got to get a little bit more of a personality going. He is kind of dull. He strikes me as a very nice, very, very well-spoken meathead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that there's a lot of deepness there under the surface. Even that was kind of something Brandon was having fun with. How I was saying he was fucking with him and stuff. Like, he'd ask Wardlow, "What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite music?" And the answers that Wardlow was given, it was just, Brandon was just like so disappointed in him every time he gave an answer. Wardlow was like, "I'm sorry," is this generic man answers? Like, yeah, pretty much generic meathead man answers. There's no depth there. But hey, that's just me judging on a surface level. He could be incredibly deep for all I know. But even if he's not, just the big, handsome, muscly meathead, fucking just powerhouse that destroys people in the ring. He's young. He, I'm sure, takes direction very well. I just see a world of potential for this guy. No, I don't think he's going to be like the next megastar or anything. I don't know that he'll achieve the levels that Batista did, but I do see him very much in the same vein as Batista. And I do think the potential is there if he were to work hard and take those opportunities when they present themselves.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.